Right, okay, so chapter 7, Instant at the Window. This is a very short chapter again, but it's my particular favourite one. This is the one where you see the beginning of the end for Jekyll, and it's quite an ironic beginning to this chapter because Utterson and Enfield go out for the walk that they did at the very start of the book. So there's this kind of cyclical nature to this in terms of structure from Stevenson already. You get this kind of repeating walk. They're out and about and they see Jekyll's house. They actually pass the door that they were talking about before, that Enfield said that he saw the girl get Hyde scurrying into when he trampled on the girl. And they realise, or we realise for definite, that this is the back entrance to Jekyll's house, and that it's all one of the same. So they step into the courtyard and they look up and they see through a half-open window Jekyll kind of looking beside it, near death. He's like it says there, like some disconsolate prisoner, and it is the moment that we realise that Jekyll is now locked up, and this could be the beginning of the end. They have a brief conversation with him at this moment, and Jekyll talks desperately to them, but it says the smile was struck out of his face. So you have this terror and despair from Jekyll here as he sees his mates, and there's this realisation that he won't be able to hang out with them anymore. I think in seeing his mates at this moment, he must have been even more overwhelmed with sadness, because he has a window into the past, into what he was in the establishment, and they're really nice to him, and they kind of talk to him as though they've got his back. They like, do you want to come out and hang out? And he just can't, and he slams the window shut and scurries away, leaving them frozen to the blood of the two, froze the blood, and they were pale. And it says here they were pale, and there was an answering horror in their eyes, and they walk away in silence. And it's this moment where you realise that if we ever had Jekyll's back throughout this, we now know that he is facing a downward spiral. It's the ultimate in terms of metaphor, this one. This is your kind of gift as exam students for symbols and metaphor. Things, physical things representing things, because one of the best quotes in this entire book, I think, and it kind of goes unnoticed a little bit, is the middle, it's over here on the right, the middle of the three windows was halfway open. Now you might think that's quite a simple, quite unimportant quote, but if you think about all the things I've talked about throughout these videos about contrast and about duality, the fact that this window was halfway open is not an accident. This is Stevenson telling you here that he is half free and half a prisoner. He is half Jekyll, half Hyde. He's half in the establishment. He's half with the likes of people that lived in Soho. He's half dead and alive. He's half. It's a complete contrast. That window is a last 50% of life keeping him alive, and then he closes it. So that window is crucial. It's the middle window, which again is kind of stuck in the middle. It's a beautiful metaphor. So I think if you remember that one and have that one in your top drawer just in case, it's the one I think that a lot of students miss. That duality I've talked about, the human mind. One of the other ideas in this is about the establishment kind of closing in. What I mean by that is that they're there as a support network. They want to go and keep that kind of unique, special club like exclusive by supporting him, and that sense it's closing in, but it's also closing in the sense that it's Jekyll's aware that he can't be part of that world anymore, and he's enclosed himself out of that world and isolated himself, that he's not allowed into that place anymore because of the person he's become, that addicted, violent and repressed figure that is stuck in that laboratory for the whole time. Okay, so this chapter is crucial because it shows, that's why it's called the instant at the window. It shows a man in a liminal state, liminal meaning stuck in between two places. That liminality runs throughout this, whether it is the stuck in between the courtyard, the laboratory and the mansion, stuck in between Soho and Mayfair, stuck in between life and death. There's always this middle ground, like in religion it's called purgatory, this kind of limbo period between two worlds, like heaven and earth, and in this case it's evil and good and life and death. Okay, so that instant of the window chapter is all about that liminality, that liminal state. Okay.